Hi, my name is Crystal Dethlefs, and my husband is Mike. We have 7 great kids: Bobby, Christy, Joe, Carissa, Hosanna, Daniel, and Noah. 4 of our children were prenatally exposed to alcohol. My husband and I spend a great deal of time researching about FASD, taking classes about FASD, how it affects individuals, and also taking classes on new ways of parenting, because parenting our children with FASD has been very different from parenting our children that were not prenatally exposed to alcohol. We want very much to support our children and to help their futures to be as successful as possible. And some things that I would like people to know about FASD is that most likely when a baby is born, it won't be evident that they have anything going on. If your child or someone you know was prenatally exposed to alcohol, just because they're okay when they're first born doesn't mean that you should just ignore things. It may not be evident for several years. But it's also important to realize that there are supports and therapies that will help you along the way. The key is to get diagnosed and get plugged into those supports. Another important thing to know about FASD is that it is a lifelong brain injury. It's not something that they're going to outgrow. It's not something that's going to get better along the way. The supports and interventions that you can get plugged into will help greatly. But it's important to know that with the right supports and interventions and awareness, that you don't have to be afraid of the future. It might be a little bit more work, but it can happen. Another thing that's important to know is that individuals on the spectrum are still wonderful people, bright, they're funny, they're very loving. We need to be patient with them. When I first was being told that my children might have FAS, there was no information available to me at the time. So I just hit the internet and tried to see what I could find. And I was so happy to find that right here in my own state that there's a diagnostic clinic, the Florida Center in Sarasota, where I could take my children to be diagnosed and to learn more about what interventions they were going to need. And so that's how I first became familiar with the Florida Center. As of now, all 4 of my children have been through the clinic, 3 of them in Sarasota and 1 at the new location in Orlando. But our relationship with the Florida Center didn't end there. We have stayed plugged in with them through therapy and through classes and support, learning more about FASD and how best to support our kids, advocacy, learning how to navigate the whole school system and help to ensure that our children are getting the very best education that they can. And they just have been, the Florida Center has been the springboard for all other things that we've learned about FASD. And, I'm happy to be part of that organization, even just as a parent. And I look forward to a lot of years ahead, just advocating, learning, staying plugged in, and supporting my kids.